everyone. Um, Imagine the softest thing you've ever felt. For me, the softest thing is a pair of oatmeal-colored possum fur gloves that I purchased in New Zealand 20 years ago on my very first international trip. Since then, these gloves have gone all around the world with me, and they're not just winter wear. They're like literally a record of all of the adventures and precious memories that I've had over my life. So when I put these gloves on, I'm wrapped in warmth and love and just good memories. On December 30th, I went to Filoli. And for those of you who have never been to Filoli, it's a magical estate and garden nestled in the Redwoods near Redwood City. I took my family there on a little holiday adventure, and that day, Filoli was a true winter wonderland. They had a Santa village that had little miniature trains going by, and it was overseen by giant trolls. And not only were there fairies and trolls and elves and Santa, but also dew and mist and raindrops and freezing cold weather. So we were all very bundled up. And I turned into a human pack mule because I was carrying a jacket and a purse, and my jacket was stuffed with beanies and gloves and scarves, crumpled letter to Santa, a site map that we kept having to refer to, figuring out where we were going, a cup of hot chocolate that had spilled over and was full of whipped cream all over the side. And my grandson kept saying, "Grandma, the train's coming by. Can you please take a picture of me with the train?" But the thing is that my gloves are 20 years old, and they don't have a little touchpad thing on there to work my phone. So I kept having to pull my gloves off and on and trying to figure out where to put them with all the other stuff that I'm carrying, trying to take the perfect picture over and over of him with all of these trains and all of the poses that he wanted to do. And at one point, I look down and I'm holding a glove. But there's only one glove, and where's my other glove? And I freeze, and I throw everything that I'm holding down onto a table, the site map, the letter to Santa, all the gloves and beanies and the hot chocolate, and my jacket. I throw my jacket off, and I empty my purse upside down, and then I put everything back, and then I empty it upside down again, and I pat myself down like I'm at airport security, and where's my glove? It's nowhere to be found. And I turn to my family, and I ask my family, does anyone have my glove? Please tell me that you have my glove. But they all search, and nobody has it. They just shake their heads and say, "Sorry, we don't have it." And you may be thinking, like, it's a pair of gloves. You can go on Etsy, or what else can you go on? eBay. Find a glove for $29.99, right? Like, I could replace these gloves, but I couldn't replace 20 years worth of memories. And also, I wasn't necessarily crying just for my glove. I was crying because I was there with my partner, but in 2 days, he was going to be my ex-partner, because we had already decided that we were going to do a mutual breakup, and we were going to finish out the year strong and go on this adventure and then go our separate ways in the new year. So as I'm standing there in the rain and the mud, I'm thinking to myself, is this what the end of an era looks like? I've lost my glove and I'm losing my partner. And I was so sad. And so I found a worker and I went up to her and I'm frantic and I'm like, please help me find this glove. She looks at my face and she understands the urgency of this request. So she takes me over and she says, let's retrace your steps. And we go and we're looking through and all I keep thinking is my glove is lost and alone. And I need to find it. It's getting trampled on and it's all muddy. Then, like, the clouds are parting and they're perched on a wooden sign. It's there, and somebody had placed it there so it would be dry and not dirty. And I said, I found it. Oh my gosh, I found my glove. And she said, nothing ever really gets lost around here. And she smiled and she walked away. And I went home with 2 gloves that day. And I also had the breakup, and it was sad, and I was feeling alone. But the best thing happened, that my friends started coming one by one, and they came with cake and with food and with wine, and they were there for me, and they hugged me. And I realized that I was like that glove, because I may be feeling lost and alone sometimes, but with my community, there's always going to be someone there to pick me up and put me somewhere dry until I can find my way home again. Thank you.
Lorraine Gonzalez, everyone.